Folks. Oh yeah, baby, and babettes. That was some riffage and a half, wasn't it, folks? Yeah, you heard that right. That was riffage. That was real good shit. Take it from me. I reckon that was pretty good. Pretty all right, eh?
Ooh. Yeah. Sweet.
That one came off the top of my head, and I'm pretty happy. That was Take It From Me by Lucy Francesca Dron. Was it Francesca?
Francesca.
Thank you. I've got my brain's trust here, aka the artists themselves. Lucy is here on the line, all the way from what I hear is relatively sunny Brisbane.
Yeah. Hello.
Lucy, welcome to the show. How are you going?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm not bad. I've woken myself up now. Apparently, we're both sleeper-inners this morning, so we heard.
Yeah, today slept in until 11, and it probably would have been longer if I didn't have this interview because I was very, very sleepy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just you can blame it for me when you finally get shit done this afternoon. You go, if it wasn't for that, Daniel.
It's good, very good. We did it.
No, Lucy, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here, and it's a pleasure to finally have your EP out and listen to the thing in whole.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Are you pretty happy with how it's come out?
Yeah, I feel like there's so much because I've released like 3 singles from it and so many like peaks of hype. And now that this one's out, I was like less excited when the full EP came out, but I feel just very like relieved and like content that it's out. But I'm not like, yeah, I was more hyped about the singles, but I'm pretty like happy.
I was going to say you're more of do you really like to focus on the singles? Is that your thing?
Well, I don't know if that's it, but this is my first time doing like a proper like release campaign thing and like hyping up all the songs. And I think it's been going since last year, so now I'm just more like, ooh, it's done, out in the world.
It's done. Be gone. Get out there. Sod off. just apathy all the way.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, I mean, I get that when you've released so much of the record first, I guess it must be a relief. It's like, yeah, this is finally done. People can hear the whole thing, I guess.
Yeah, and I can start like focusing on the next thing, which is exciting.
Do you consider yourself someone that is like always looking forward? Then you're always looking. It's like, what's next? I'm already done with this shit. What's happening?
Well, I just have so many projects in my head that I want to do. So I guess I don't want to waste. I want to like do them all. So yeah, I think I'm always looking forward. which I guess is it's good, but it's bad because it's good to be present. But I am always like thinking about my future a lot and what I want to do and everything.
I was going to say, is it because like, do you find that with the songs, by the time you've recorded them, released them, it's old news?
Yeah, well, these songs were already kind of old news before I was like recording them. Like I still love them and everything, but I definitely like that. They're like some of the earliest songs I've written, and I've written like so much since then. So I'm like very keen to.
Do you find that you're actually writing different styles of songs now compared to that? Because these, like the EP is very concise, because I noticed that the songs like sonically all have a very similar sound. Like, do you find that you're moving on from that style and already and writing stuff in a different, different way?
Definitely. Like, yeah, like I've been writing much more intricate, kind of like finger plucky, like creative, weird time signature stuff now. And back then it was more just pure emotions. But I've been, just getting way more creative with especially with guitar. So yeah, it's been changing a lot, and it's still like evolving today. It's really cool. I'm keen to see where it goes.
Is it okay? So have you whipped out the 5/4 time yet?
I don't know more like theory and stuff, but I've just been like playing with really weird grooves. So I don't know what it would actually be. Do something pretty weird.
That's for those music theory nerds. We don't talk to them.
Yeah.
Run me through. Speaking of songwriting, run me through the life cycle of a Lucy Francesca Dron song. Like, how do we go about writing it? Is it one take and that's done, or are we talking like you got to slave over the thing over many months? Like, where are you with that?
It's different all the time. There was when I was like 18 and 19, I had like a 2-year like full, like I was like an open faucet, like creative flow, where like all I was doing was writing shit, and it would happen really fast. I wrote like heaps of stuff in that time, and then from like 2019, I kind of was blocked for a while, and I would write like songs every now and then. But it happens like the majority of the song I get in like this flow, and I like know that like I'm writing something, like it's this same space that I get into where I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got to like shut up and just let whatever's happening happen. But then the songs like evolve for like ages. Like I feel like I could keep working on them for ages and changing stuff. But like the core of it happens really fast, and then I just kind of develop them over time by like thinking about them and listening to them and stuff. But it doesn't feel slavey. It's just really fun. But it's fast, but can go on forever at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sure. No, it does. Yeah. So, I mean, with that, so do you find that the quantity of creative material does ebb and flow then over time?
Sorry, it does what?
So does the amount of creativity and the amount of new material that you pump out vary and sort of ebb and flow? Sometimes you got a lot coming out. Sometimes it's sort of few and far between.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sometimes I'm writing all the time, or I'll have a year of not writing, and then I'll like explode again. But yeah, it's pretty weird. But I feel like the stuff I go through when I'm not writing ends up like contributing to what I end up writing later. So I trust the process. I don't get like upset when I'm not writing.
Well, did you find then that when you were writing those songs, that when you said you were like 19, you said that you were writing a lot. So was there like a lot going on in your personal life that sort of really kicked it into gear?
I was mentally insane. Yeah.
Literally, or are we like, like literally, figuratively?
Well, I was pretty messed. I was a bit mentally unstable.
Yeah.
And I didn't really talk to anyone, and I smoked a lot of weed, and like all I did was just write guitar, and I was in a really bad relationship as well, so there was a lot of weird stuff going on. But it all makes sense now because I wrote like good stuff. But yeah, it's weird because sometimes I feel like I have to be in a bad place to write really good stuff.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of artists feel that. But
it's not me. It's not you. It's me. I've got to be in a bad place. You want some songs? Break my heart.
That's not it. Nah, but that's not true.
Are you sure? I thought we were opening up here. I thought this was like this is the Lucy tells all.
Yeah. My best stuff definitely comes from terrible places. That helps.
It's a bit of a funny paradox, isn't it? And it's not. And you're right. This is not something that is isolated to just you. A lot of songwriters go through the same thing. That to write good material or to come up with some good material, you've personally got to be in a bad space.
Mm.
It really is a painful art, songwriting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird, but I feel like it's so worth it to me at least. I think. I don't know. I'm just saying that now because I'm happy, but I'm sure I'll get.
We need to depress you again, Lucy. What can I do? What can I do to bring you down just a notch? You need some more material, you said.
Just tell me my music sucks, and then I go.
Well, I'm not allowed to do that. That was I could maybe off air, but.
Thank you.
No, I mean in all seriousness, it's good to hear that you're in a great place at the moment. What was I going to say? Yeah, that's right. I was about, when you say it's all worth it in the end, is there a particular point where you do end up having that euphoria? Can you think of it? Can you think of when that occurs?
Well, when I'm in that like flowy writing state, it feels pretty good. And then when I'm back to reality, it's like, but I don't know. It's also worth it when you perform it and you realize that people connect to it, and it's like therapeutic. Obviously, being able to just play those emotions rather than just sit in it or turn it into like some toxic thing. Like it's good that you to just play it and like having it's literally like therapeutic. So it's not like euphoric, but it's good. But it definitely becomes euphoric. I have songs that I wrote ages ago that I still play, and I just feel like blissed out when I'm playing it. I'm very lucky to be able to write. Good.
Yeah, is it just because when you do play them live, do you find that then some songs that maybe you'd not necessarily passed off, but thought maybe these aren't my best, turn out actually to be really good ones to play live? Does that ever happen?
Yeah, that has happened. There's definitely times where like people connect to a song even more than like I do, I guess. And that's the best thing about performing. It's like you kind of like create this weird like feedback loop. I don't know if that's the right word. Like, I don't know, you just can connect to the audience and you kind of almost feel what they feel and they feel what you feel. And it's just this weird like thing. I don't know what I'm saying.
And they don't necessarily have to understand all the lyrics either. It's just a vibe, isn't it?
Vibe and stuff, whatever they take from it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, is there any particular songs on the EP that have had that treatment where they've weirdly or maybe unexpectedly connected with the audience or with your fans?
Yeah. Probably actually, I don't know. I knew Liquid Numbing Pain connected to people. I didn't expect the other ones as much to like Take It From Me. I didn't really expect people, pretty much all of them except for Liquid Numbing Pain. I didn't think, but people like Mirrors more than I thought.
Yeah, and that one you hadn't released as a single either.
No, I hadn't. Yeah.
When you were recording too? What was an absolute pleasure to record? Like, was there one particular song that just worked way nicer than you thought?
Mirrors actually worked really well. We kind of all got super creative on that one.
Yeah.
It was an easy song. There's a lot of like space to work with it. The other ones like really guitar driven and chunky, which is kind of harder to like balance everything. But Mirrors had a lot more open space and like it goes up in the middle, so there's ways to kind of use that and like create like a build up and then release at the end. I don't know. Yeah, that one felt really, really cool.
Because you're right, it is a bit different to others. Because I mean, here I'm going, why didn't you release it as a single? It's like, well, it is. It's like the slowest song on there because you got all these like, as I said before, riffage central with a lot of the other tracks, and then Mirrors is very spacey.
Yeah, Yeah.
It's good. We're going to come back to that soon too. It's, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you've already seen the song list on this episode, you know what I mean. Tell us a bit about the recording process too. So I'm just trying to see how was it like actually putting them together?
Like in general for all of them.
Oh, I guess so. You can answer that or interpret that question however you so desire.
Well, this was my first time properly recording and like working at a proper studio with a producer and with my band, and like coming in with the only other recordings I had done were just like demos for uni assignments that were just really rushed because the band hadn't even practiced before or anything. We were just kind of doing it. So it was cool. We just like went in. We had practiced heaps before, and I tried to write as many notes as I could on extra instrumentation and like references. And then I really wanted to do it live tracks because the band and I have a really good energy live, and I for some reason can't play to a click track. I don't know. I just can't. So I didn't want to do the click track thing and do it separately. So we just did a few takes of the songs all together in a live way and found the ones with the best energy and the best drum take, which was most important because you can't really redo drums. And then from there, it's just heaps of like layering, guitar layering, adding ideas. It was an eagle flying right now. And getting the bass, getting a little sound, mixing, and then vocals were last. And yeah, and like throughout all of that, there was a lot of the producer I worked with would give me a lot of ideas and like random stuff I wouldn't have thought of that just kind of fill out things, and maybe like adjusting like little things that I wouldn't have thought of that just made it sound better. So that was really cool to learn from. But yeah, it's lots of layering and then going home after a session and listening and getting really crazy on notes and perfecting things and then going back. It got a bit tenacious. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Was there something about the process, I guess, that sort of surprised you that you might not have thought had been important? Because you said you came off this as like the first proper time you've recorded your songs. Like what really surprised you about that process?
It was just like, I don't know if things surprised me, but there was a lot of like learning curves, and it made me like just working with the producer and hearing them go from like the first take we did to the final take and being there through every session with him and like trying to like communicate sounds that I wanted and like mixing things because I don't know how to do any of it, so I would have been very annoying, but I was like, that sounds wrong, like just change, I don't know, all of that. Like it made me, now every time I listen to songs I'm like thinking about the whole process of like how they came from like the big, like it made me kind of form more of a producer ear in a way, which was really a cool learning curve, just hearing them come from a skeleton to like life and being involved with it. Wasn't surprising. I guess that was surprising, like interesting. Different. Didn't expect to learn that much or like have a different perspective on songs so much.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk about your producer, Steve.
Yeah.
What made you decide him as the guy to do it?
Well, I actually, before recording properly, it was a big anxiety of like, there is like thousands of studios and producers. How am I ever going to find the perfect one, blah, blah, blah. And then I just asked my ex-principal, because I went to a music school, and he's just like a legend. And I was like, can you recommend any studios? And and I was like, I'm just going to do whatever he says. And he recommended this one. And Steve was just the producer that was working there at the time. And the person, when I contacted, asking if I, like, inquiring about the studio, he was the guy. So I just was like, whatever, I'm going to do it. But it ended up being a good choice.
It's interesting because a lot of artists will painstakingly go, I've got to make sure it's perfect. But you're like, yeah, whatever, your recommendation's good. I trust you.
It wasn't that, like, I would have never recorded if I didn't just pick somewhere, because I was going to be like that. I was like, it needs to be perfect. But then I would have needed like years of making connections and figuring out like things in order to do it, but COVID hit, so I was starting to hit, so I was like, this is it, like, we could all be dead, like, in a year. I need to, like, start recording. So,
there we go. There, she's back, folks. Looks like we've got some more creative spirit coming in.
Yeah, inspired.
Sorry, Daniel, I have to leave the interview. Got to write my second EP. Catch you for the next one.
No, I was good. That's what really pushed it. Like, I would have gone crazy picking, but I was like, I don't know. I got to pick somewhere.
So it is a case you got to bite the bullet sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, especially at the beginning, because it was like very first thing. I was like, I just got to pick somewhere good, like, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
Was this side of sort of indie alt rock that you've got going? Was that his bread and butter to begin with, or was this a change of style compared to with the normal stuff he produces?
In the first email, I was kind of giving him references and explaining stuff, and he said that this is the stuff he likes doing. But I'm pretty sure he's done a lot of different things. But I think he enjoyed doing it, and he was used to this kind of style. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it helps, and you got at least someone in the room that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. I have no idea.
With it now, like, do you think you'd approach choosing a producer, like, or do you think you'd like to go the same thing, just see what other people recommend, or you're like in a much more solid understanding of what you want for future projects?
Like for the future, I'm kind of like, well, I'm taking different opportunities to work with you. I think I am recording with a friend at the moment, just a single. I might not release it, but I'm just kind of like putting feelers out. To work with other people. But I'd be pretty keen to work with him again because it was good. And, obviously, like, the people I would love to work with are like people who are like Radiohead. I'd love to work with their producer. I don't know, like, it's like really out of reach the kind of producers I would want to work with. But I don't know. I'm just kind of going with it, seeing what happens.
I'm trying to look that up. I was like, who the hell produced all the? Wait, which period of Radiohead? Because it's like apples and oranges when you look at different parts of their discography.
In Rainbow Sound, but I think they just do it. Actually, I don't know why I said radio. I'm just like thinking of sounds I like, and it's like I would want whoever worked on their music to work with me. Yeah, that's the thing. I wish I could just do it myself, but I don't know anything about technology.
Nigel Timothy Godrich has apparently produced several of the Radiohead albums, so you might want to hit him up.
Or him. I'm going to send his email.
Send email. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's just got his email plastered all over Google. Yeah.
I'm sure he would be down.
What I was going to say, talk about your band, because you said that it really helped having them in to do the songs with you. Like, what's it like working with them?
They're incredible. So the bass player is my brother. So our whole relationship growing up was like music based. Like, all we would talk about was music. All we would do was show each other songs and like write songs and show them to each other. And he taught me like all the first guitar covers I ever learnt. So yeah, we've just always connected deeply through music. So he, like, if I have a song, he'll just have the most perfect bass line or anything to go along with it. And Tex, my drummer, is absolutely out of this world. He was 16 when I first saw him play, and he went to the music school that I went to as well. And they do like these, for assessments, they do these showcase gigs where anyone can come and pay. And they like come to, because the school is also a nightclub. It's like this crazy music school. So yeah, I went to one of them because I was looking for a drummer, and everyone was like, Tex crazy. And he just did this like 10-minute solo on drums. And everyone was there the whole time, like, oh my God. And then, I was like, hey, join my band. So I got him when he was like 16, and like we had practiced a bit. And yeah, he just understands all my songs really well. It's really hard to find a drummer that you connect with, or I struggled to find a drummer that I connected with. So yeah,
I was going to say, just child prodigy all the way. You got to get them while they're young.
Exactly. Especially with drummers, it's so rare. Like, yeah.
No, that's cool, and it's good that you've got such a band that like you got that solid working relationship. Like you're not in here for the long haul by the sounds of it.
I hope so. Tex is pretty well in demand though, like, and he's grown up, so we'll see. But
you got him before he was famous.
Yeah, oh God, he's gonna do a lot. So yeah, but hopefully.
That's all right. The Dron family band can get some kick pedals and you'll be fine.
Yeah, yep. I really wish I could multiply Tom because he's a genius. He can play like anything, but he loves playing bass for me. But he could also play like the sickest like synth. I don't know. I wish I could just multiply him and have like just Lucy and or Tom band. That would be like really ideal.
You'll have to clone him. That's clearly the only option available.
Yeah, should be.
With when you're playing live too, because I was going to say you mentioned before the call, before we started recording, sorry, that you haven't really had that much of a chance to play live since the EP is released. Is there much of a plans to take the band with you some point in the future once we've all died and been resurrected from COVID?
I hope to, but it depends on like budget really. Because like yeah, but I would love to. I hope I can do that. But I'll definitely go to Melbourne probably by myself to play a show for the EP. And if we can, I'll bring the band. That'd be sick. But yeah, for the moment, just sticking in Brisbane with the band.
I was going to say all the songs too sound like they'd be pretty flexible in terms of you being able to play them solo and with the band.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I started gigs just like solo for like 3 years until I found a band, and I was doing that a lot. And then just people started like noticing me more when I had a band because it just kind of brings it out way more. But yeah, I definitely still love playing solo. It's a lot more intimate, and I can change the way I express the songs and stuff. And I have a bunch of other songs that are way more like solo, like sounding.
Yeah. So have you ever written a song though since you got the band? There, right. This is a band song. It's going to only be a band song. Tom, get the fucking Korg out. Let's go. I don't know. What have you ever written a song that you're like, this has to be a band song?
Well, all of my songs originally, I heard it with band in my head. So I could still like do songs without band, but I pretty much envision all of them, most of them with band. But yeah. I always wanted band. It was just finding the right people. It's hard. The right drummer.
Yeah. How far are you willing to push them? Like what whacked out style are you gonna bring to them next and go, hey,
a lot.
Guys, look at this.
I really feel
Bluegrass
very,
trap.
What?
Not to give you too many ideas. No, like what? in all seriousness, though, are there any particular styles or genres that you haven't really touched on yet that you'd love to dip your fingers into?
I don't really think about genre, but like I've just been doing some really weird guitar shit that's like pretty intricate, and I always feel very happy when Tex is like, "Whoa, what did you just do?" Because I know that because he's like crazy good. I'm just like, "Yay, I've challenged you."
It's like, fuck off, Lucy. You're gonna have to pay me double for this shit. Nobody said 13, 15 time. Come on.
Yeah, but I definitely want to do like jazzy shoegaze. I love shoegaze. I'd love to do like weird. Yeah, I don't know if there's any genre speaking. Yeah, I'd like to do some more shoegaze stuff, especially with my brother. Like, I'd love to do a collaborative project of our like unfinished songs and bringing them together and all that.
Speaking of guitar work, who's your guitar hero?
I don't have any.
Such a pedestrian question, I know. Yes.
Like, I try not to look too much at what people do. Well, that's bad, but it's bad but good because I keep it unique, but I also should probably. But Napalm's pretty crazy. The Coyote. She kind of, I think she subconsciously influenced me heaps to get really intricate and weird with guitar, because I found out she like doesn't know theory either, and I feel like we kind of write in a similar way. So she kind of inspired me to just trust that rather than being like, oh, I should know stuff and just listen to my ear and like get weird with it. So she's probably the biggest inspiration at the moment in general with, all that.
That's cool. That's cool. Girl power, 110% by the sounds of it. What's coming up next? Because now that the EP's out, what are you gonna do? Because I mean, you hinted at what you're doing, but I want a more concrete answer, Lucy. Give us the goods.
Well, I'll definitely play more shows. There's none like officially coming up yet, but I've got some lined up. And I'm wanting to get a grant or something, or I'm just trying to save up my money so I can get back into a good studio. And I don't know exactly which album or like song I want to start focusing on. So I think I just need to spend some time playing and figuring out like alone what I want to focus on next. But definitely want to do another recording project as soon as I can afford it.
It's money. Yeah. It's always money. Money's the kicker, isn't it?
So bad.
Like in the Lucy Francesca, the LF, I can't pronounce your name, the LFD for short, recording fund.
Yeah.
Now taking Dogecoin.
What? Dogecoin?
Do you know what Dogecoin is?
No.
It's that cryptocurrency that it's like the joke cryptocurrency that Elon keeps spruiking. Oh,
true.
He says one tweet and the price crashes. Yeah.
I'm out of that scene.
Oh, come on, Lucy. I thought you were hip. That you would down with the goods, yeah, yo. I didn't realise you guys were 14 years behind back in Brizzy, but I take that back. All the stereotypes are indeed true.
Probably.
No, Brisbane has a great. Actually, speaking of Brisbane, I'll bag the shit out of wherever people are from, but I feel like you need to state your case. What do you like about the Brisbane music scene? Because it really does have a vibrant scene, so I've heard.
Really?
Really? Yeah. What scene? All I can see is eagles and trees and bad phone reception.
I like...
Take back those words.
It's pretty like... Well, I haven't really gone anywhere else, so I don't know what the other ones are like, but it's pretty like accepting and like supportive. I haven't felt much competition or whatever. And there's a lot of like the people who aren't musicians are very like, there's heaps of like people that just love like the actual local scene and go to gigs all the time. And it's really like supportive and nice and fun. The audiences are always like crazy good. Like there's always a vibe. It's never like dead.
It's like just always hitting 10, just as far as like the vibes going.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty rarely lower than like a 7. It's pretty rare.
Nice. That's good. That's really good. I was going to say, are there any venues or artists that you've really been, well, that's a weird combo. Well, any artists, I guess, have been really impressing you in the local scene lately?
Staples are good. Tane Josso, good. Or, damn, why is my mind blank?
The Saturday, it's the Saturday fry, as I call it. You can't think of shit at this time of day.
They're all good. All of Brisbane is now.
Go and check them out. Come and
check out
do it. Go to a gig. Get off your ass. Stop watching Netflix at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Stop.
And go to a gig.
Go to the valley.
Then come back and watch Netflix afterwards. So you don't have to give up what you like. Actually, what venues? I was going to ask about venues before. What venues do you really, really enjoy playing up there?
I don't want to be a dick, but Blackbird's probably the best. Sound and everything that I've had. I haven't really played at all like the super like good ones like Trips or Outpost or any of them because I'm not like very big at all. So I don't. But I've had a lot of shit sounds at gigs. So Black Bear is probably the best one.
Yeah, the Blackbird, is it?
Black Bear.
Oh, Black Bear. I don't think I've heard of that one. Is it like a smaller, more intimate venue?
It's pretty good. It's pretty, it's not like massive. But yeah, everyone loves Black Bear. It's super fun. They have the best espresso martinis ever.
Okay, that is obviously a deciding factor, is it? So we know we've cracked the code, folks. We know what gets Lucy keen, and it's a good quality espresso martini.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I know. So when you're booking shows interstate, the first question will be, so what's your cocktail list like? And does an espresso martini count as a good, count as a legitimate band rider?
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward. All I can imagine is now, like, you're halfway through songs, and instead of just like a pint of beer or a glass of wine, it's just an espresso martini glass.
No, I have a strict no drinking before gigs rule.
Okay.
But that's only because when I was younger, would get just like so before, and I would still like play well, but then afterwards I was just freaking menace. I was banned from the whole valley. Like,
oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh, have we just story time, Lucy, or is this classified information?
It should be classified. It's pretty like outrageous stuff, but yeah.
You don't have to go into it if you don't want. All we know is that she's a menace, and and I was about to ask whether it was like to help with your vocals, but no.
Well,
because you get fucking turned AF before the show.
Well, I used to be really anxious, so it would help me, like, sing, like, more expressively.
Yeah, but maybe one whiskey, Lucy.
Yeah, I know.
Not 23.
I just, like, not even a sip before.
Just a sip. Just the tip. Just the sip. That's a good idea. Yeah. Because you want to be able to remember the show. As I've been to a few gigs where people have had a bit too much of their rider first.
Yeah, it was easier to do that when I was playing solo, but when I started playing with a band, like, it was like, I can't do that. I have like two other people to think about. And yeah, my drummer was like, you should stop that. And then after that, I was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna.
I was going to say, you don't have to worry about experimenting with time signatures when you do that. The time signatures make themselves up.
Yeah, they just start forming on the spot. It's magical.
Nobody knows what's happening. Not even you.
No idea. You're like, what the fuck? I'm like, I know. Totally. No, I'm just kidding.
Lucy, we're going to be in a relatively short moment playing Mirrors, which is, as we mentioned, not one of the singles that's already been released. Seeing now that it's a bit of a fan favourite, as you've so described before, you want to give us the, shall we say, the Inside Valley scoop on, on the particular song? But yeah, no, in seriousness, like, how did this one come about when you were writing it?
Yeah. This one was, I think this was like the first, Take It From Me was the earliest one. I wrote it when I was like I couldn't speak to people. There was like a period of my life where I just was like so like almost mute. Like all I would do is just stay at home and stuff. So it was about like how every time I would go in like and interact with people, I would just freeze up because I was like hypersensitive or like anxious, and I just felt like everyone could feel or see what I was thinking and feeling, and like I was just this like it just made me not be able to speak because I would just start overthinking everything. So it's really about like just social anxiety and how you can just feel super reflective around people and like, I don't know, just heightened sensitivity in social interactions. It's pretty much all about that. And I wrote it just, I think it's only like 2 chords, the whole song. So I was just like playing around with the chords and then started singing over it. It's pretty flowy ones.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious too, when you mentioned that about anxiety, what have you found has helped manage it? Because you can't really get away. You can't really get rid of it. It's not something that sort of just magically disappears, but it is something that's always going to be there. But I mean, you can manage, there's ways about managing it. So how have you found? Well, what have you found is a good way to manage that?
Well, just growing a lot, like giving myself time to grow. Also, quitting weed. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Sure, I don't know. Like, not smoking weed anymore helped me. Like, also just kind of slowly accepting who I am and embracing my sensitivity rather than it, like, always, I don't know, it's just a lot of, like lessons I've learned from growing up. But I guess just not thinking that there's something wrong with me so much released a lot of weight off me. Because sometimes, like, the biggest issue is just thinking there's something wrong with you, and then you just kind of spiral from there, and, like, everything you do, you're just like, oh, I'm, like, doing this, like, weird or wrong. But if you just are like, no, there's nothing wrong with me, and understand that, then that kind of, like, helps just accepting myself more.
Yeah.
But I still struggle a little bit with it, but it's way less intense. I can talk to people, obviously, like I am now.
Yeah, look, and it's great. It is really good that you've been able to get in a better place too, which is awesome to hear. 13 11 14, if anybody wants to chat, Lifeline, very important service. I know. I know it's just very important. I think when we talk about mental health, that it's important to embrace it because it is a bastard.
Yeah, and lots of people gone through it, obviously.
But you're right. A lot of people go through it. So I think that's actually a pretty good note to end on, Lucy.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's been a lot of fun chatting.
Yeah.
I really hope to catch up with you in person when you come down.
Definitely. I'll let you know.
You can you can maybe convince me that espresso martini is not an abomination.
I'm going to find the best espresso martini ever, and then we got to get it.
Yeah, you will have to convince me. I'm doing a bottomless brunch tomorrow, and one of the drinks on the menu is espresso martinis. So,
have you never had one?
I just like what? I've parked your interest now, haven't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, until whatever time, Lucy, you can come back for an espresso martini. Fare thee well, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day as well, Lucy. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Please tell us who you are and what song we're about to listen to.
Lucy Francesca Dron, and the song is called Mirrors.
Well, now I've fallen and I'm deep, and mirrors crashing down on me. It blocks myself from those who see it, puts a wall between me. Why do I think there's always something else? Speaking a language no one speaks, with a wall between me, on and on, say it or the more it pushes down, and I have accepted home enough underground. Attempts to scream, they won't come out loud. That voice of hope, it is quiet now. Someone could smile at me, and now I think of all that they can see. Thoughts must be written on my face. I think of something that I can't stay here. And I said I'd speak with honesty. The truth is written within ourselves, but we don't read. I thought I'd never cross these thoughts again, but now they play on repeat. The room is empty, it's empty. This doesn't feel right, the way I sit here endlessly. I'm always thinking, just never thinking the right things. I thought I'd never cross these thoughts again, but now they play on repeat. I feel empty, empty.
AustralianMusiciansRadio.com